everyone, last go on this, I hope. So I have been in a massive young adult reading mood recently, which is great because I haven't been in one in quite a while, like at least since last summer, maybe even before that, because last summer I felt like I was in that kind of reading mood, but I ended up only reading like 2 young adult, and the other books that I was reading, were definitely not. But, anyway, so, I figured that I would take this mood and run with it, because I can't remember the last time I wanted to read, some young adult this badly, and I have so much unread young adult on my shelves, and also, well, just the one shelf, like, that's why this is empty, because I pulled out all of my unread young adult. But there's that, and then I also pulled out, all the young adult from my red shelves that I really want to reread. And originally I was going to make a couple videos where I just talked about all of them in like 2 videos, but I know that that would be like way too much, so instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to do more videos that are shorter, I hope. Maybe not this one, but hopefully the future ones. But anyway, I'm going to do shorter videos that are more where I individually talk about the series that I want to read, because there are several series or trilogies or, you know, things like that on this list. So I figured that I would talk about each one individually in a video, and then take like 1 or 2 videos to talk about the standalones that I want to either read or reread. And then maybe also, like, I have a couple duologies that I want to read, so I figured I would throw those in with the standalones. So, the first of these videos that I want to do, the series that I want to talk about that I'm very much in the mood to reread / continue reading for the first time, is the Iron Fae series by Julie Kagawa. So I will... yeah, that's all of them except the most recent, which I do not own, so I'll talk about that when I get to it. But, how I figured I would do this is read you guys the back of the first book, and then go through all the books, and show them to you with their titles, and then, kind of talk about the ones that I have read versus the ones I'll be reading for the first time. And just, you know, what I really liked about the ones that I have read so far. So the first is The Iron King, and I will read you guys the back. And the first part says, "My name is Megan Chase. In less than 24 hours, I'll be 16. Countless stories, songs, and poems have been written about this wonderful age, when a girl finds true love and the stars shine for her, and the handsome prince carries her off into the sunset. I don't think it will be that way for me." Next is the actual summary part, which is, "Megan Chase has a secret destiny, one she could never have imagined. Something has always felt slightly off in Megan's life, ever since her father disappeared before her eyes when she was 16. She has never quite fit in at school or at home. When a dark stranger begins watching her from afar, and her prankster best friend becomes strangely protective of her, Megan senses that everything she's known is about to change. But she never could have guessed the truth, that she is the daughter of a mythical fairy king, and is a pawn in a deadly war. Now Megan will learn just how far she'll go to save someone she cares about, to stop a mysterious evil no fairy creature dare face, and to find love with a young prince who might rather see her dead than let her touch his icy heart." So, yeah, that's the first one, The Iron King. And then the rest of them are The Iron Daughter, The Iron Queen, Iron Knight, Iron Legends, which is a bind-up of a couple different short stories, The Lost Prince, and Iron Trader. And also, I'm just going to say, you guys should see this when you put it in a dark place, because it's like his face glows, but this part is like black, so it looks really scary. Okay, so I have read the first two, Iron King and Iron Daughter, and how I discovered this series was when I was first watching BookTube, before I ever got my own channel, or created my own channel, wow, anyway, the first ever booktubers that I started watching were Jessica and Stacy from Chapter Chicks, and they read predominantly YA with some classics thrown in there, but they were some of my favorite booktubers, and they still are. Unfortunately, they don't really make videos anymore, but anytime they do post a video, I watch it immediately. And I love rewatching their old videos. But anyway, Jessica at some point reviewed all four of these, or the first four of these, I should say. So the way, like, based on her level of love and excitement for this series, I knew that I had to get it. So I ordered the first four in a lovely box, which is this box here, but, it's really hard to get the books out of this box, so I don't do that on camera, but honestly, how pretty is this design? So yes, I got those, and I immediately started reading them, and I read Iron King and Iron Daughter within like 4 days. I was completely enthralled with these. I just loved them. But for some reason after that, I don't know if I was reading them at too fast a pace or something, where when I went to move on to Iron Queen, I was really in the mood for something different. And I kept saying like, oh, I'll go back to them, I'll go back to them. Now it's almost 5 years later, and I have no idea why I didn't, because of how much I loved these two. Yeah, so I've read these, and then, so I now need to reread this one, and then read, where is it, reread the first of these short stories, which is Winter's Passage, which comes in between Iron King and Iron Daughter. So I have read that one before, and then I want to reread, so reread this, then reread Winter's Passage, then reread Iron Daughter, then read Iron Queen for the first time, and then after that comes the next one of these stories, which is Summer's Crossing, and then Iron Knight, and then Iron's Prophecy is the last of these short stories, and it comes after Iron Knight. And then we have these two, Lost Prince and Iron Trader. And the thing about these two is that I don't know, but I don't know with these two, really if they're considered to be a continuation of the Iron Fae series, or if they are considered to be like a secondary sequel series, which the cover doesn't help because it says Iron Fae Call of the Forgotten, and so yeah, I don't know, like it's called Call of the Forgotten, but I'm like, is that the series name, or is that the name of the sub-series within the Iron Fae? And I'm more inclined to go for the latter. But for example, on Goodreads, I don't know if this would be listed as Call of the Forgotten Book 1 or Iron Fae Book 5. But doesn't really matter. But the cool thing about these is that they carry on, like, I want to say 10 years or so after the first book. Maybe not that long, but definite number of years after the first book, and the main character, who I'm guessing is here, is Ethan, who is Megan's little brother, who is the main character of the first 4 books. So I think that's really, really cool. So I'm very excited about this one. And then we have Iron Trader, which is the sequel to that. And then Iron Warrior is the one that I don't actually own. So I will either get that at the used bookstore where I live, because I've actually just decided to go do that on my birthday, because I feel like I have enough books to exchange, that I'll take those and then browse a little bit and use the credit I get to get some of their books. So I will look for Iron Warrior there, and if it's not there, then I will get it from the library, because I know that they have it. But the last thing that I wanted to say is kind of what I really love about this series, based on reading the first 2 books and that first short story. And that is, this was my first introduction to kind of the fae part of young adult fantasy. There's like, oh, I'm holding up the wrong book. There's like fae stuff. There's fae stuff, there's vampire stuff, there's werewolf stuff. Probably, like, I don't know if you could consider zombie stuff. I consider that like post-apocalyptic rather than like fantasy stuff. But anyway, so this was my first intro to a solely fae world, I guess. And Julie Kagawa's description of this world, like her writing, and I don't even know how to describe it. She just makes it incredibly rich and lush, and it's incredibly easy to picture for me, which I thought was amazing. So yeah, it's a world that I totally loved, solely based on her writing, but then also something that I probably love even a little bit more about it is she takes characters from Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream, which is one of my favorite Shakespeare plays and one of my favorite plays in general, and she makes them real. Like the character of Puck in Midsummer Night's Dream is actually in this, and like in it he is the Puck. Like he's not like a relative or anything, he's like actually, and I just think that is so cool. And she has others, like I want to say Oberon and Titania are in here as well. And then she incorporates other Shakespeare play stuff, like, I don't know if you could tell from that summary, but there's a little bit of a Romeo and Juliet thing going on. And then I'm sure there are other Shakespeare play references that I just haven't gotten to, because I haven't continued on with the series, or, it's been long enough since I've read it that maybe I've forgotten those. But that was one thing that I loved, is I just thought that that was so brilliant and intelligent of her to incorporate these characters into this fae world, saying like, if I'm gonna create a fae world, why not take like all these characters who already have a reputation because of Shakespeare and incorporate them into my story. So it's really, really cool, and I love it. So yeah, I am going to reread these and then read all the others for the first time, and I'm just very excited about this series. So that is video number 1, and I don't know if I'll go ahead and make video number 2 or if I'll wait until I have read this series and then do a video on the next one. I am going to do a separate video about my Maureen Johnson collection, and I want to talk about a reading project for those. And that's going to be ongoing for the whole year, so I feel like that's probably the next video that I will make. And so I guess I'll go ahead and post this, and then film and post the Maureen Johnson one, because that's kind of in honor of The fact that she's coming out with a new book that she's coming out with in like 6 days. But anyway, I don't want to run over my time, so thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you guys have read the Iron Fae series or any other of Julie Kagawa's work and what you thought. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.